polls are still open in Maine until 8 o'clock tonight on this election day. Our political brew host, Phil Hirschkorn, is in the studio with our political analyst to hear some final thoughts on both of the ballot questions. Hi there, Phil.
Hey there, Chris. So we have just a couple hours for our voters who are maybe watching right now, getting last-minute advice. I have Jason Levesque, the Republican former mayor of Auburn, and BJ McCollister, a Democratic consultant, former chief of staff to Senate President Troy Jackson. Let's take the questions in order, since that's really the top of the ballot. Question 1, voter ID, absentee ballot restrictions, as we heard in our news reports so far. You voted yes on that. Why? And why should other people do it, in your opinion?
I did. It's a common sense application to protect each individual's vote, the sanctity of their vote. And I do hope, and I think from what I'm hearing, that people are actually taking the time to research the question, understand what it means, and separate the rhetoric, the 2-to-1 spending advantage that the opposition has on this referendum question. Look through the word salad that was politically motivated by the Secretary of State, and actually saying, yeah, we're going to vote yes on one. So I do think yes on one's going to prevail by 6-7 points either way.
BJ, why shouldn't it prevail in your point of view?
Well, if we're talking about the integrity of elections, it means we need to protect people's access to the ballot. And while some people might want to talk about voter ID, that's not what this initiative is about. This initiative is about a long list of ways that restrict absentee voting. And the word salad on the initiative is actually the proponents' fault. The proponents are the ones who put the whole list of changes to Maine's very popular absentee law in the books, and I think voters will soundly reject it tonight.
So not only do 45% of Mainers, according to the last election, vote absentee, there is a partisan tilt to that, right? 42% of absentee voters have been Democrats. Is there a partisan motivation behind this, Jason?
I think it's really a pragmatic motivation, but yes, historically Republicans like to go to the polls. It is an event. They want to go see their neighbors. They want to go and vote. It's a big day. It also gives them more time to really look at the issues instead of rushing to make a judgment before maybe a campaign can get their messaging across. So partisan, I think it heavily tilts more pragmatic, independent, and Republican, absolutely.
Let's switch to question 2, the red flag law. This is a direct response to Lewiston. You voted yes on that, BJ. Why?
Well, it's about making sure that we have more tools in the toolbox to keep Maine's families safe. Look, if we had this in effect prior to the Lewiston shooting, when Robert Card's family said that there were problems, they could have moved forward with a process to ensure that a dangerous individual did not have those dangerous weapons in hand.
So in other words, it's a backstop so families and households can go to the court if for whatever reason the police don't. Jason, what's wrong with that?
A couple things. First of all, I want to state that I don't think it's appropriate that we actually use something that was a tragedy that happened in my neighborhood for political gain. And there's a lot of hypotheticals going on here. Would have, could have, should have, maybe. But we also have to look at the bigger picture. Our yellow flag laws work. Were they enforced prior to what happened in October? Unfortunately, no. They have been over 1,100 times now in the past 2 years to great effect. I think red flag is a solution looking for a problem. I think it's too much. I don't think it's there, but it also takes away the power of law enforcement. As mayor, I know this. You always default to your local law enforcement. They're there on the ground. They're working with people. They're the best suited to handle something in a timely fashion.
All right, Jason and BJ, thank you. We'll have more from them throughout the night on News Center Maine Plus. Chris, back to you.
Phil Hirschkorn live in the studio with our political analyst. Thanks so much.